You also produced Players Anthem.
Yeah.
Which, correct me if I'm wrong, was Lil Kim's first appearance on a record.
Right.
Okay.
Trust me, I will say this. The first time I heard Big mumble into it, I knew it was going to be a crazy record. As soon as I heard him mumbling, I was like, oh, shit. And the funny part was, as soon as he did that, he was like, are we going to go home? I was like, what are we going home for? We're going to the studio. Yes! Because I was like, I know this is going to be a crazy record. If that's what you're going to do to it, I'm like, oh, we good.
And how did you feel about Kim being on the verse and Kim's verse? And did you know that there was that kind of star power with her as well?
As soon as you heard her, you knew it was on and popping. As soon as you heard her in the booth, we might not have known beforehand that she was really gonna be rapping, you know. But as soon as you heard her in the booth, you were like, oh shit, niggas in trouble. Everybody's in trouble because she rhymed as hard as the dudes, if not harder than most dudes. Her and my cousin, her and Foxy, they rhyme harder than everybody.
So, your cousin's Foxy Brown.
Yeah.
How did you discover that she had musical talent?
Well, she was doing it. She was doing it and would be telling me like, oh, you gotta hear me rap. You gotta hear me rap. And, you know, in all fairness, I looked at her like she's my little cousin. So, like, yeah, you might have been rapping, but like, what are you talking about? You're not supposed to rap. You're my little cousin. And she got connected to Smooth the Hustler and Trigger the Gambler and was rapping with them. And they would be like, yo, your cousin. And then one day, I had to pay attention. I was like, what the fuck? Like, yo, she's wild. She sounds wild. She sounds like one of the little homies. But she sounds ill. So me and Jay was doing this record. I mean, Jay was doing, actually, we were doing Tell Me How It Feels. Mm-hmm. And he had somebody to get on the record. And it was a girl from the Bronx. And she got on the record, and I was like, okay, it worked out right. But then when it got to doing Ain't No Nigga, I was like, you got to put my cousin on the record. And he was like, I'm telling you, put my cousin on the record. Brought her to the studio. I called Pooh. I was like, yo, bring her to the studio. As soon as they walked in and they started hearing it, they were like, oh, yeah, it's going to be nuts. I was like, yes. And from that point, like, I mean, and then think about this. She's my cousin, but she's connected to Nas. But Hov is... Yeah.
It's funny that my grandfather is a credited writer on Ain't No Nigga.
He was one of the spinners?
He was
one of the writers of the group.
He was the
whole damn family.
Whole damn family. He was the executive producer of that record.
That's crazy.
And he's a credited writer on that. And I was like, oh shit.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That means he's getting chipped off because that record took a lot of publishing.
He's doing all right.
That record took a lot of publishing.
His name is August Moon. Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah. So, how did it feel once? You know what I want to get into? I want to get into Biggie and the Life of the Death album. My favorite Biggie song is "Sky's the Limit,"
as it should be.
Which you produced.
Yeah.
The reason why it's my favorite song is because I think it for one, it evokes so much emotion. When I hear it, you just want to tear up. Because you hear the struggle of Big in his early life, the life he was living, and where he wanted to go.
What you actually heard was a story about him telling about him.
Yeah.
And that was something you just didn't hear on Big. It was his favorite song. Like, I could have quit. I could have never made a record after that.
What was that session like?
First of all, when he heard the beat, like, he started mumbling the hook. So I was like, damn, this is going to be crazy. But Akinele wanted the beat. So I was like, I'm not even going to tell him the same shit that I told him about Brooklyn's Finest. I just was like, yo, Ak, would you want this beat or not? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, yo, it costs this much. He was like, nah, Clark, you trying to buy a condo on me. And I'm like, nah, dog, I mean, you know I get paid to make records. It's going to cost this. Nah, man. I'm like, okay. So, even though Big had already said, put this away, save it from me, my first answer to him was, dog, you're not making no records right now. We doing Junior Mafia. You're not making records. I'm not holding a record. He was like, you gotta hold this record for me. Even though I know I already gave it to Akinelli. I go to Ak. I go, yo. He's like, nah, I can't pay that. Sauce Money had it. He was like, nah. Jay passed on it. Jay and Sauce both passed on the record. Players Anthem. Jay had it. Sauce had it. LL Cool J had it. LL Cool J walks in the club, here's the record, and it's like, yo, Clock, I need a joint like that. You had it.
It sounds like
I was like you
it sounds
had
like an LL record.
You had it. Why didn't you do Players Anthem? You had it. He was like, I ain't had that. I was like, yeah, remember the silver tape? The tape, Silver Superman Incorporated tape? Listen to it again. It's like the first beat on the tape. And I gave it to him.
The first beat
Yo,
on the tape.
It was foul that I gave it to him. Because every record went to Jay first. It was Jay, Sauce, everybody else. And I gave it to him because when I was making the tape, I had just made the beat. So I was like, I'm putting it in there. And in my mind, I'm going, he's not gonna get it. But Jay will. And Jay didn't take it either. But Big heard Players Anthem was like, yeah, we're going home. But when he heard Sky's the Limit, he was like, hold that. Like, don't give it away. And I had already given it away. So I had to go ask the guy who I was giving it away to, this is how much it costs. You paying? No? Okay. Not yours.
And unfortunately, in 97, Big passed away.
Right. Wait, you asked how the session was.
Yo, how'd the session go?
The session was simple. It was, he already had the hook. It was who's going to sing it. On the original multi-track, it's Big singing it. And then it was bringing 112 so that they could sing what he referenced already.
So Biggie wrote the chorus.
Biggie wrote the chorus. It's a jack of a D-Train record called Keep On. And he used that as the hook, had 112 come and sing it, but he had sang it already, and it was good. The way he sang it, it was good. It's just that he's not a singer. So, and he came and he did it, and when we finished mixing it, like they kind of depicted it at the end of the Notorious movie, where he was like, yo, I made it. Mm-hmm. When that song was playing, but in that session, he was like, this is my best song. He said, this is my favorite song. Not my best. He said, this is my favorite song. I was like, oh, shit.
Wow.
But, it wasn't oh, shit then. It was like, all right. But then later, it was like, oh, shit. This dude said that was his favorite song. But he's at that precise moment, he's one of our favorites. He's not the greatest. You're not thinking that. You know what I mean? You're going like, you're one of my favorite rappers. You're like, you are one of my favorite rappers. You are one of my favorite rappers. Jay-Z's the best MC. You're the best rapper. Jay-Z's best MC. If the full thought would have been all the way there, that he goes, this is my favorite, my favorite record that I've made. Maybe I would have been a little more aware of what was happening. You know what I mean? Maybe you don't get aware until later when the song is playing. Maybe I would have thought, okay, I made history then. But you don't think that until when later on the record comes out and people are going, that's my favorite song on the album. For the same reasons that you're stating. It was introspective. There was no introspective Big records. All of them were super tough, hard records. There wasn't a nigga never been as broke as me.
Do you think that him writing that song at that point of his life, because you had known Big for when he first came on?
I knew Big since he was like 18 or 19, because I heard him rap. I knew who he was in the hood. I knew who he was. You have to understand, like and Just and all the guys who were his record label, Entertainment, they were my mans. Mark Pitts is my little man. Like everybody who he was around was my guys.
Like, how did he change?
He didn't.
From
he
that.
He just was rich. He just was rich. He's the same guy I met on St. James and Fulton Street.
Even with all that was going on with the East Coast, West Coast, and all that.
What did he do when all that shit went on? He ignored it. You know why he ignored it? Because he knew all of it was bullshit. That wasn't real. That wasn't real. That wasn't real beef. Like, he knew, like all of it's based on lies. So what was he gonna do? I'm gonna verbally joust with you? Nah. For what? For lies? That sounds crazy. We from Brooklyn.